Imagine, if you were certain that the entire universe had been placed in your hands, if you knew exactly where you came from and where you were going, if you knew that within a few hours people would arrest you, humiliate you, slap you, beat you, and ultimately crucify you, what would your attitude be in that moment? A person normally either shows their strength, protects themselves, or asserts their importance. But the one standing here is not an ordinary person. This is Jesus. And from here, a divine revolution begins. The verse saying, Jesus knew that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he came from God and was going to God. The first deep secret here is that Jesus' actions arise from his identity. He does this not because he doubts who he is, but because he is fully certain of who he is. People who are strong in their identity in the world do not belittle others, they humble themselves. Jesus knows, all things are in my hands. This does not mean only power, but also authority, right, and final judgment. Yet he does not express his power through domination, but through service. This overturns all worldly power structures. Then it says, he got up from the table, took off his outer garments, and tied a towel around his waist. This sentence is short, yet the sky is contained in it. Rising from the table means leaving the place of honor. At that time, sitting at the table was a symbol of respect. The greatest, most revered, most sacred was the one who sat at the table. Jesus rises. Rising here actually means leaving his position. Then, took off his outer garments. This word is not just about clothes, it signifies removing status. And then tied a towel around his waist. This was the attire of a servant. The one who washed guests' feet wore the towel tied this way. Here, the Son of God is taking on the role of a servant. Consider the emotional weight of this moment. The disciples are silent. The room is full. The air is still. No one speaks. Everyone sees that the one who is their master, who performs miracles, who raises the dead, is making himself a servant. This is not just an action, this is a silent sermon. Then the third verse. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around his waist. Here is another deep secret. Feet were considered the dirtiest part of the body at that time. Open sandals, dust, streets. No one preferred to wash their own feet, and certainly not others. And yet Jesus takes the basin of water in his hands. This basin also symbolizes sacrifice. Water signifies cleansing, purity, and later points to blood. Washing the feet is not only about hygiene, it signals spiritual purification. And notice, Jesus speaks little, works much. Why? Because some truths cannot be expressed in words. They are understood by bowing down. He goes to each disciple individually, touches each foot, feels every speck of dust, spends time with each person. Here God is giving individual attention. There is no mass production. Every person's feet are different, and bowing down is necessary for each one. And here arises the question, if God himself can bow down, then why do we stand so rigidly? If the one in whose hands all things are washes feet, then what status do we cling to that we cannot set aside? These first three verses teach us that true power lies in humility. True leadership lies in service, and true purity begins in the heart. Here comes the dialogue of Simon Peter. Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Notice, in Peter's words, there is shock. There is disbelief. This question is not just about his feet, but about his understanding and expectations. Peter thinks, this is impossible. The Master, our guide, the source of our honor and status, how can he wash his disciples' feet? And this is precisely the moment where we can understand human nature. When we perceive someone in life as distant or unapproachable, we fail to truly value them. We assume that power only means respect and authority, not service. Peter's question is the voice inside all of us. Is this right? Is this appropriate? But then comes Jesus' reply. What I am doing you do not understand now, but you will know after this. Here lies the deepest secret, the secret of faith. These words point not only to patience, but also to the limits of human understanding. Sometimes we cannot comprehend people's actions immediately because our perspective is limited. We see only our immediate experience and our logical expectations. But actions that are true and divine operate according to a much larger picture. Consider the tension of this moment. Peter feels his pride, his thinking, and his understanding all shaken. And in Jesus' response, there is no anger or resentment, only the calmness of the river and gentle guidance. This teaches that true knowledge does not come from display or logic, but from understanding and time. Now, look at the depth of human emotion. Peter's "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" is not merely shyness or astonishment. It is a question asked from the heart that exists in all of us. Sometimes we too think, if this person, this leader, is truly lowering himself, then what should we think? This question, this disbelief, this shock, is a natural part of human nature. And then Jesus' response redefines everything. What is not understood now will be understood later. Here is another deep lesson, the lesson of trust and surrender. Peter cannot yet bow. He cannot yet understand. He cannot yet admit that the greatest becomes the least, but this is the moment where the seed of faith is sown. And faith means accepting an action even when it is not yet understood. And consider the full intensity of this moment. The room is silent. The water in the basin moves with a soft sound. Each foot tells a story, and every action is a silent sermon that resonates in the hearts of Peter and the other disciples. This is not merely an act of cleaning, but a spiritual revolution. It teaches that the one who sets aside ego and pride to serve others demonstrates true power. The flow of these two verses is so powerful because it challenges both our spiritual and human understanding. It asks us, if everything were in your hands, would you bow and serve? Would you set your ego aside to give time and attention to others? Would you surrender your logic and understanding to God's wisdom? The essence of this moment is this: a profound bridge forms between human disbelief and divine action. Peter's confusion is our understanding, and Jesus' calm and action is our spiritual guide. This is not just a historical incident, but a story that runs inside every human being. Only when we understand true service and act accordingly can we truly perceive God's plan and wisdom. Peter replied, "You shall never wash my feet." These words are not just rebellion, but a natural reaction of human nature. We often think that if our ego or pride is challenged, we will not tolerate it. Peter's refusal is not mere stubbornness, but his way of protecting his own honor and authority. He does not yet understand that bowing here is not merely a physical act, but an expression of a spiritual and ethical principle. Then comes Jesus' reply, "If I do not wash you, you have no part with me." Here lies the deepest secret, that service and companionship are not merely about friendship or fellowship, but about acceptance and surrender. If Peter remained with his own reasoning, if he stood with his ego, he would not only miss this act, but also create a barrier in a spiritual journey. This means that in a spiritual journey, performing actions we may not fully understand is also a part of faith. Then Peter, mixing instinct, fear, and surprise, says, "Lord, not only my feet, but also my hands and head." These words are an intense emotional outburst. In Peter's heart, there is a mixture of shame and guilt. He realizes that bowing and washing are not merely formal rituals, but a symbol of purifying an entire life. Washing hands and head signifies surrendering every action, every thought, every plan into God's hands. Peter's demand is a raw, honest human reaction. When we understand that our purity or cleansing is incomplete, we want to submit entirely. Jesus' reply offers another deep insight. The one who is bathed needs only to wash the feet. He is completely clean, and you are clean, but not all of you. There are two layers here. First, one who has already completed the process of spiritual cleansing does not need to repeatedly perform small acts. This teaches that the essence of spiritual work is cumulative. Our soul is purified through understanding and faith, and a single act does not transform an entire life. The second layer, you are clean, but not all of you. This is a lesson in discernment. Jesus knows that not everyone is ready. Not everyone can understand. In the spiritual journey, we often make the mistake of measuring everyone at the same level. But the reality is that each person's capacity and timing are different. Here lies a lesson in patience and humility. We must control our own ego and judgment and understand that everyone's journey is unique. Consider the emotional weight of this moment. Peter's intensity, his surprise, and Jesus' calm and guidance all form part of a deep spiritual dialogue, communicated more through actions and presence than words. It challenges us. Can we set aside our ego and limited understanding to accept divine wisdom and the principles of service? Can we understand that despite our limited comprehension, the true impact of an action is deep and transformational? These two verses are powerful because they do not merely recount a historical or ritualistic act, but explore the layers of our own faith, ego, humility, and acceptance. Peter's hesitation and Jesus' guidance teach us that true spiritual growth never comes from immediate comfort, but through patience, surrender, and action. This moment is the deepest, where Jesus fully unfolds his understanding and insight before the disciples. Because he knew the one who would betray him, he said, "Not all of you are clean." This sentence is not just a statement, but a signal of spiritual discernment and awareness. Jesus knows that not all the disciples are at the same level. Some have not yet grasped the true meaning of this act, and some hearts are not yet ready. This insight is a profound lesson for us. Spiritual leadership and guidance are always aligned with each person's stage and capacity. And here lies another subtle point. Jesus' gaze is upon the reality of each individual. He does not judge merely by outward actions, but understands the inner intention and spiritual readiness. We often focus only on appearances and performance, but true purity and growth come from within. This insight challenges us to try to understand the spiritual reality within ourselves and others, rather than judging only by external actions. Then the verse says, "After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around his waist." This act is repeated, but this time we can understand its depth in a spiritual and ethical context. Washing the feet is not merely a physical act of cleaning, but a symbol of humility, service, and unconditional love. It is an action beyond human understanding, in which dignity is intentionally set aside. We often think that demonstrating power and authority is about respect and status. But here he sets all that aside and performs the lowest task. The towel also carries deep symbolism. The towel, used by the weak and servants, has now become an instrument in Jesus' hands. Everything is being used for a higher purpose. This teaches us that the essence of spiritual actions lies not only in the result or visible impact, but in intention and submission. And here is another subtle insight. Jesus' act is a model for everyone. He is not washing just Peter's feet or those of select individuals, but leaving a lesson for each person. Every foot, every disciple, every perspective receives individualized attention. This shows us that true leadership and guidance come not from mass control or domination, but from empathy, attention, and service. And this act is not merely the work of a single moment, but a vehicle for a timeless principle. Those who serve by bowing redefine their own dignity and authority. It challenges us to set aside our ego and pride in life and embrace service and sacrifice for others. These two verses, when we grasp their depth, initiate a process of reflection and self-awareness within us. They ask, can we set aside our ego and limited understanding to accept higher wisdom and spiritual guidance? Can we recognize the essence of humility and service in every action and interaction? The greatest insight of this moment is that real purity and readiness do not come from surface acts, but from the heart and intention. Each person's journey is unique, and it is necessary to respect the inner capacity and understanding of every individual. Jesus' actions are an eternal lesson for us in humility, service, and spiritual discernment. Jesus said to the disciples, "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for I am. If I, your teacher and Lord, can wash your feet, then you also ought to wash one another's feet." This seems like a simple statement, but it contains a universal principle and an ultimate challenge. The true meaning of leadership and power is not just about authority and giving commands, but about modeling service and sacrifice. The one who is greatest performs the humblest task. This principle is timeless. And notice, this is not just teaching, but a call to action. I have done this for you. Now you do it too. Seeing or understanding alone is not enough. For spiritual growth and transformation, action and practice are essential. It challenges us to implement humility and service not only in words and beliefs, but in every relationship and interaction in life. Jesus then makes another deep point. I have told you this so that you may also practice it as I have. Guidance is not just theoretical. It includes teaching through modeling and example. Every human being has a natural inclination to learn by observing. Here we see that the combination of actions and intentions constitutes true teaching. Then he says, the person who understands these things and acts accordingly will find joy and true purpose. The one who does not act will possess knowledge, but miss genuine spiritual growth. This shows us that it is the combination of knowledge and action that makes life meaningful and transformative. If we only understand, but do not act, it remains superficial. But the person who humbles themselves in service, sets ego aside, and sacrifices for others, their soul becomes truly enlightened and free. And here lies the most powerful insight. This act and teaching redefine our relationships and community building. If we all adopt humility and service toward one another, Every connection and bond stands on a spiritual and ethical foundation. This is not merely a religious ritual, but a blueprint for every human and social interaction. Finally, the most powerful message of Jesus' words and actions is, greatness is measured not by authority or power, but by willingness to serve, humility in action, and love in intention. This principle brings a revolution into our personal and collective lives. Ego, pride, and self-centeredness are voluntarily set aside, and service and compassion are brought into relationships, work, and community. This is true purification, not just the act of washing feet, but living an entire life as an act of service and faith. Its impact is timeless. Every person who embraces this principle creates a ripple effect. It is not just about washing one set of feet, but practicing humility and love in every small and large interaction. It teaches that the true measure of spiritual wisdom is controlling ego, maintaining patience and discernment, and performing unconditional service. And thus the entire scene concludes. Rising from the table, removing outer garments, tying the towel, washing the feet. Each action becomes a silent yet eternal sermon. In the hearts of the disciples, this message resonates. True leadership, true power, and true purity lie in the combination of action, intention, and service. It challenges us to make humility and service central to every aspect of life, to voluntarily set aside ego and pride, and to reflect divine wisdom in every day, in every interaction. This scene and its teachings forever remind us that the one who is greatest serves by becoming the least. And this is the secret of true greatness and eternal purpose.